Hey, Anna, what's up? Welcome to the podcast lab.
Thank you.
How's it going? You need help with that microphone?
Wait, maybe I just
Don't worry
put
about
it
it.
up a little bit.
Here you go.
Nice.
Nice. So how you been? Long time. What, 6 months?
I think 1 year since I
1
came
year?
to Europe.
Wow, time
Yeah.
flies really quick. But you've been here in summer. I remember it was quite wintry, like when you came.
It was in June, actually.
June?
Yeah, June last year. So it's almost a year.
Wow, it ran so quickly. Amazing. I thought it was like between 3 and 6 months. Seriously, I was like, when you tell me, yeah, I'm coming to Risa, I was like, man, she's flying a lot. She's like always
Here
like,
again.
on the line, How can she make it? Australia, Europe.
Oh,
That's
don't
crazy.
ask me about it. It's always very chaotic.
Yeah? But it's also very fun.
How
Huh?
do I make it work?
It's also very fun, huh? I heard there was some big swells now in Sydney. You've
Yeah,
been...
I was there just when the swell was, and
Yeah?
then I left after.
Did you had a look? Did you went looking
Yeah,
somewhere?
yeah, I watched
You weren't
all the
surfing,
days.
right?
I was surfing all the days except the biggest day.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a bit too big for me, but I
Which-
just gave it a try.
Which spots do you normally surf in Sydney?
I live in Freshwater, so
Okay.
that's like the beach next to Manly.
Oh,
Manly is
northern
pretty
beaches.
famous. Yeah.
And Manly was also quite heavy, right?
Yeah, it was
Everything
huge.
was like it's such a huge difference between this area, in terms of surfing. I mean, Sydney and northern the whole area of that coast, and comparison to the Gold Coast and Byron. I mean, it's a different world. It's like
yeah, it's usually more chill to surf over there than here.
It can get heavy as well, but nothing like Sydney. Sydney have some serious bombs, It's like
Yeah,
it's
and they
like here,
were like
more
barreling, so it's pretty crazy.
big bombs. Also, look, also in the Gold Coast, it can get it can have some size, and it can get really barreling, especially in. Have you surfed in Kira or those places?
Kira, I'm not sure.
Snappers
No, I don't
Rocks,
think so.
the whole.
Oh yeah, I surfed there.
Yeah, so it's millions of people. It's very difficult to surf. You need always if you want to get where you need to have like a bigger board, like a bit of paddling advantage. But even if it's heavy and even if it's big, it's nothing compared to Sydney. It's scary. It's jacking off from out of nowhere. I used to surf. Last time I surfed maybe Tamarama. You know that place?
Yeah.
Next to Bondi. It's just like a regular like bay, nothing spectacular. I mean, it can get really good, but often it's just like, and it was like, it was like a 2 feet day, and the waves just like jumps out of nowhere. It's like Pedra Branca here,
Yeah.
It's like crazy. But anyways, you're back here in Europe.
It's
so
funny that we just talk about surfing now.
yeah, why not? You surf.
Because actually I got so much into surfing that
Yeah?
the last year I felt like I'm almost surfing more than I'm skating. Don't know
Yeah.
if I should even mention that. But
Why not? Are you because of the sponsors or something like that?
yeah, maybe. I mean,
But don't forget, they sponsor you, I mean, you are, so it's like you are not like one-dimensional. I mean, from my perspective, you're not a one-dimensional like person. Kelly
Yeah.
Slater, is like
It's
the best
true.
surfer in the world, but he's also playing golf, and play the guitar, and he apparently this amazing guitar player and a really good golfer. So
yeah, and to be honest, I noticed that it really helps too, because sometimes when I do one thing for too long, I get a little bit bored of it.
yeah, me too.
I mean, even when the sport itself is exciting, but it's just a bit boring to keep going to the same place and
Yeah.
like do the same thing.
Meet the same
And,
people.
and I like to change the environment sometimes. So it's been pretty exciting to just be on beaches instead of mountains for some time.
You know what I've just watched a week ago? Me and my friend, we watched the Yin and Yang of Gary Lopez.
Oh, I love that
You watched
movie.
that?
Yeah.
It's so inspiring,
It's
huh?
really good.
This guy is like, this is what made me do the mustache, you know, because he has like, he was like, you know, so like he has this cool caricature looking like, you know, with the mustache, riding those lightning bolt waves. And I was like, the next day I'm going to do a mustache.
So funny.
Yeah. But he's so inspiring. Like, wow, you know, you see him doing all those crazy yoga moves and like super zen. Then he's like having a fight on the beach with someone at Pipeline, surfing on snowboards, this guy is like, wow, magic, you know? And
but I think also that's what the magic is about, that you have to really find the balance.
Yeah.
And like, I noticed too that since I'm doing more yin yoga, which is like the very slow yoga.
Never tried, but I am so missing doing yoga. I really need to do it.
I think that it's like, it really helps for your performance in anything extreme, because you can't really just do extreme and crazy all the time.
Yeah, you have to kind of like
get
into the flow.
You really need those recharge moments to then do it better the next time.
Yeah, the
and
reason...
I think it took me a long time to figure that out, because I'm quite hyperactive and I always want to do something crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually the total opposite, that sometimes when you just learn to really calm down, it boosts your energy so much.
Yeah, definitely. I think from the first time I tried yoga, I immediately was like, okay, this is good for surfing. That's good. It's good stuff. And I was really lucky because I had this guy, he was a friend of a friend, and he was staying in Israel, and he didn't have a place to stay, so he stayed in my place. I was really young and my parents were away, so I had the whole house. So he just crashed in my house for like a month. And he was like a yoga teacher, and his parents were like yoga masters and everything. So we were just doing yoga all the time, and he was teaching me like some basic stuff. And I still have that, like some ideas and techniques that he taught me. That's like 20 years ago. And I had this flow. I do like a little every morning, something simple, like a bit of stretching, nothing more than 20 minutes. But what happened in the last decade is my wife, which I really love, she became a Pilates instructor, and she's doing the reformer, you know?
Yeah.
You heard about it?
With the machines or like this?
Yeah, with the machines. Wow, it's actually amazing. You should come and try, because she has a lot of athletes coming to her, because she's like a magician. She's really great. I mean, she's amazing. But I'm not connecting to the whole. I'm not connecting to it. To the machines and everything. So for her, it feels like cheating if I'm telling her like I'm thinking about doing yoga and I'm getting this face, you know, like, you know.
Oh, but I don't think like you should have to pick one.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's complementary. Like I think Pilates is more to strengthen, but then if you do yin yoga, it's to
lengthen.
Yeah, to stretch. And
is there a good yin yoga teachers here?
I mean, I bet there is.
Probably there is, yeah. So
but
I just know I'm gonna get like a face from her. It's like I'm telling her I'm going to do yin yoga with that girl, and she would be like giving me like, you know, like, yeah, really, you know, okay, you know, I heard she's, you know, she makes you injured or something, whatever, you know. Anyways, I'm just joking. But yeah, yoga is super cool, and Gary Lopez is amazing. He's like, wow, you know. And yeah, so Sydney, and now you're here and you're promoting a movie. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that now the film festival is pretty much over.
Okay.
Because it started already in October. So that was a long time.
So what
almost half a year.
What kind of film festival is that?
It's called the European Outdoor Film Tour.
Ah, wow.
And it's pretty big in all the German-speaking countries, because I think it's from there.
Mm.
but they already exist since 10 years or something, and they always pick different sorts of extreme sports.
Okay, what are German-speaking countries? I mean, there's Germany and Austria?
And Switzerland.
Switzerland?
Yeah, so that's...
Netherlands?
I mean, they have the festival there too.
Okay.
Now it's everywhere in Europe. So that's why the tour was like really long.
Okay. So it was just traveling from location to location, and the last location was here?
Yeah, I was only joining for a few stops in the beginning, like in October, November.
So you were here in October, November again?
I was in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so now...
for the first screenings.
Okay, now I'm getting my timeline.
And this year was the first time they had a screening in Portugal as well.
And they
So
were
I
following
wanted to
you.
come.
They were following you skate, or how was it? What did they edit parts that? I mean, what's the production like with that film?
Yeah, actually, we've had in mind to make a movie for a long time, just to tell a little bit my story about the sport and kind of in what ways it really helped me a lot in my life. I always thought that can be something inspiring for people to see. And I'm not that much into competing anymore. And I think it's just a very valuable thing if instead of competing, you focus on film projects and inspire
more like
other
a free
people
skater
to do it. Yeah. And then since I kind of shifted my focus, I got some partnership deals or like some things that I just had to film for brands. And last year and the year before, I was traveling with a little film crew for quite a while in different countries to shoot some YouTube episodes.
Oh, I think I've seen some
for
snippets.
A shoe company.
Okay.
And then in the end, the film festival saw the YouTube episodes on my channel, and they reached out if they could maybe turn that into a movie.
Okay.
So in the end, they made the edit, and I did another voiceover, and we kind of just puzzled it together with the shots that we had.
Oh, so you took you repurpose some sort of
pretty much
some materials you had and made another version of it, an expanded version or a shorter, I don't know, and what's the name of that piece, that movie?
Oh, they called it after me, which I was a little bit skeptic about it.
Okay. What's the name?
Anna.
Just Anna?
Yeah, just Anna.
Cool, I like it.
I
short
don't know,
and sweet.
Because I hate being in the center of attention, so it's kind of paradox,
Interesting.
But that's kind of what you have to do if you're an athlete, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think in the end it was a really nice project. I would love to be able to have that opportunity to film a movie kind of from scratch. So you really have you just planning to make a movie and you start all over, this, it was a little bit the other way around, that we just had the footage and it got puzzled into a movie.
It works.
It also works.
It works.
Yeah.
It happens. What I've noticed, just for instance, take that Gary Lopez movie. So they did what they did is they used a huge archive from many years, and they just did a couple of interviews, and then they're kind of re-angling the whole storyline, sort of. So it works, it can work. And it's and how long is it, that movie?
It's just 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite
that's
short.
Nice. But still, that's nice.
But I got a lot of good feedback from people. It was very nice to see a lot of people reached out to me that they were really inspired by the story, and
it's really
now I had to give autographs. That was such a funny
really
thing.
It's really reminding me. I told you about Verdegiana, and she was because it's a topic that I'm really it's really making my mind busy in the last, I would say, 3 months, 4 months. and she called you to the stage, and you come, and you can see that you're a little bit embarrassed and humble, which is really nice. And then you said something, and which was, I think, very smart. And you said something, which was, I don't know, me and social media, I don't really understand that so much. Something like that, And I was like, this is really clever, because I am starting to think, I just had a conversation with someone, and I would be interested to hear your opinion about that my vision, my theory is by the 30s, the 2030s, I mean, another 5 years, so more or less, social media will completely be dead. Like, I think it doesn't bring anything new to the table. Instagram is like a billboard, everyone is like spamming and bullshit, and it's just attention, and there's nothing, it's not social anymore. I don't see, posts of my friends. It's just like, bombarded and attacked by all kinds of bullshit, basically. And Facebook is basically, I deleted, but I didn't delete, but something happened, and I cannot enter the app anymore. And I'm like, I don't really need it. I like, for a couple of months, I'm like, I don't use it. Sometimes I go in from the computer to the marketplace or something. I think it will not survive. I think the younger generation are feeling it's completely feeling the emptiness of it. I would just be interested to understand you, because you seem to think the same in a way. I don't know what you think about the future.
But interesting thought.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about that it could just disappear completely. But I don't know. For me, it's always when brands ask me to do some sort of content or whatever, I always really want to make this distinction between being an athlete and being an influencer, because they often mix it up and they ask you to do all these things, like pretty much you just have to show your face to camera as much as possible. And ideally you just grab your phone and talk to it.
Yeah.
And they love that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for me, it defeats the purpose of what I'm doing, because I'm not doing what I'm doing to promote people's products and like talk to camera all day what I'm doing. It's a little bit weird to me that someone asks me to do that if my thing is actually skating fast.
Yeah, now
like,
you need to be like...
My thing is doing a sport, and I'm very happy to record that and post videos of that and pictures of that, but I always try to keep my social media free of all that bullshit, and I just want to share content of extreme things, because I felt when I started there was not enough content of women doing extreme sports, and I think it's still not equal the amount. So I think it's just good if more and more women show what they're doing in an extreme way.
Yeah.
Just to kind of fill the gap.
And less like, hey guys, good morning,
Yeah, because I hate watching that content too,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any meaning behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I want to interact with a person, see what they do all day, I'm gonna go meet a friend, but I don't need to watch
what he eats.
Yeah. I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I use
his feet on a chair, the view of the ocean somewhere, Well, I want to see your feet, whatever, Just people who have weird, posting stuff, If I'm putting my feet in the beach, it's like I'm on holiday, It's funny.
I still think that, especially Instagram, it can be quite nice also as an inspiration, because there's a lot of artists on Instagram too.
Yeah.
And you can still sort of select content a little bit, but you definitely get served a lot of ads. And
I think my theory is of course it will not disappear. Oh, I hurt myself at the gym today in the morning. I was like, I will tell you later, but I'm thinking that, like, I think it will be like something like more snappy, like Telegram or WhatsApp. And for example, like an athlete like you would have like their own Telegram, WhatsApp group, and only you can share things. Something, maybe a different application or a different technology, but like the idea, okay, and it would be like more personal and like, okay, I would be subscribing to your, I will be part of that group, and I have people that, we all share the same passion for something, and you are like a leader, or you will be like so like it will be different kind of like environment than this, because it just feels awkward, feels like defeating the purpose in a way. I mean, it's still, there's lots of artists and there's lots of cool stuff, and I see once in a while something really spectacular, but I'm just thinking it's kind of like becoming...
I feel like for me, it has always been an advertising platform, because like in the end, the way that I'm using it too, it's not for myself, it's for my sponsors. And I feel like all athletes do that, like they share about their life because of their sponsors.
But some like it. Some athlete likes it, likes to... I mean, I'm not suggesting you like or you don't like, but what I'm thinking is like in a generational perspective. So in 2030, 5 years from now, Instagram will have 20 years. Facebook will have 25 years, give or take, okay? And I think it will be like a time for, something new, like an evolution, like a new thing. And it doesn't necessarily means like the fact that my parents, used fax machine, and then, on the 90s and the beginning of the 2000s, whatever, we used emails, to communicate. Like, doesn't mean that it will stay in this medium. It might will evolve to something new. Maybe it will be some sort of VR goggles, or maybe it will be like a really cool texting app. I don't know, just something that will
probably
a little bit
for
different.
sure it will change in some way.
Yeah, I think it will change. I think it's really at the moment I'm not enjoying it anymore. it's weird because I'm doing this podcasting thing, but actually what I realize, it's what nice about this is not, it's nice to get the gratitude from people and get likes and get a bit of like attention sometimes, but what nice is just 2 or 3 or 4 people sitting in a room with no disturbance, with no phones, with nothing, and being in a flow, talking to each other, discovering new things. And this is for me what makes it interesting.
Yeah. And I think for me it's also like using media to tell like stories that can inspire others.
Yeah.
I think that should be the purpose, that you just use it to either share inspiration or share ideas or share something that benefits others too. And I think just all the media, it's drifting a lot away from that purpose, because everyone wants to make money, and then like brands get in the way and they want certain things, and yeah.
But the people in general feel that if something is not like, if something is it doesn't have, it's an empty vase, it's an empty vessel, it's not people feels it. People feels that you are cheating them, like, clickbaiting, or watch that movie and discover how to make $1 million a day. All kinds of bullshit. Like people feels like they're going into those platforms, and they're consistently being like the people like larking on every corner and trying to cheat them, hey, buy from me, hey, buy from me, hey, look at this, hey, look at this leggings, hey, look at this shirt, hey, look at this. like, and it's amazing. I've been complaining on shoulder pain, and I've been getting this. I'm just talking to my wife about it, and I'm getting all the time like messages like for all kinds of cream, like and literally the thing is like I cured my shoulder for after 5 years of pain shoulder pain cured in 1 week, like with putting, and there's like a cream, you know, I can, and I'm like what's going on, you know? It's a bit sketchy.
I mean, I don't know, I think we live in a capitalistic society, and it's a lot of times it's just about selling and buying. But yeah, that's why I think it's quite important that at least some people, like for me, that's usually artists and athletes, that they just do the opposite of that, you know. But as an athlete especially, it's tricky because in the end you're like helping the brands to sell stuff, and that's the easiest way to make money. But I still think there is other ways as well, you know, or like.
But look, there is it's different. If I'm watching you and I'm interested in skateboard or skating, downhill skateboard, and I know that if you give a review, if you like, I know that like you. So you can, like, for example, you would be vouching if you're sponsoring, if you're like talking about gear, for example, or talking about, it's different, you know, it's different. And it's more like it's more organic. I'm watching something and I'm being, okay, she's definitely a professional about that. She knows what she's talking about. And if I'm in the market for a new skateboard for myself, maybe I can get some insights, like what should I buy, what should I this? And she's like, well, definitely one of the, you know, go-to people to ask about those kind of questions. And then there is another question of the authenticity of the person who does that, really authentic and giving the information. But again, if the will to make money goes greater than the will to be authentic, eventually people will, you know, will feel that and realize it. People feel that immediately, you know. This is my point. So anyway, social media, it's a whole love and hate relationship. That's that, I think, to sums it up. So by the way, how was the Figueira de Foz? Different subject.
Well, I stayed there because I have some friends there, so I just went to hang out with some friends, and they are all downhill skaters. Yeah, but they recently also got super into downhill biking.
Oh wow, I think I've seen some video.
So they all bought bikes, and then they gave me a bike to try it out. It was my first time trying it.
I think I've seen a video. It looked amazing. It's really, it's dangerous.
It's so much fun.
It's a dangerous sport. It's
it's similar to skating downhill, the way like you have to think ahead and react really quick, and and I mean you're going down the hill too, just in a different environment on a different tool.
and sometimes because it's not a road, it's more like there's more cracks and rocks, and it's a bit less predictable, you know. Like if you are, I'm just assuming, you know, it looks really sick.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
So I was doing that for a bit because actually I plan to skate downhill in that week a little more. But you know how last week the weather was very crazy. It was like such a crazy storm.
Yeah, there is a really famous surf break over there, supposed to be. Buarkush?
Oh yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, I never seen it working, but I heard it's really amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, have you seen it?
Yeah, I surfed there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your impression? Was like it was working, or it was kind of like?
Yeah, it was working.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
Yeah, and long waves, and probably I heard it's quite empty.
Yeah, but
maybe we shouldn't
talk about that. You know?
Everyone.
I don't want to say more about it.
Yeah, maybe we should cut it out. No, I think it's funny. We should keep it in. But
You never talk about good surf spots.
no, but I tell you what, I met a guy from that place, and he was like, "Just come, people are. There's nobody there. It's far away from Porto. It's far away from Lisbon.
It's getting crowded though.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some German people in the water, some like
If
people
there's German
from
people
everywhere.
in the water, it means that the rumor is getting around.
Yeah, for sure.
So it wasn't okay. So it wasn't that. But yeah, I heard it. And there is another one. I was there. Cabadelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the other side. They have this. They have this really funky festival they're throwing on.
Oh yeah, the longboard festival.
Yeah. It's called.
I would love to go.
Yeah, I was there once. It's called Gliding Barnacles.
Gliding Barnacles.
It's a nice nice festival. It's really like grungy. It's a cool thing, and they have this surf break, which is just next to this long break wall, long jetty. And it seems like also like a really like a lot of potential. When I was there, wasn't so fun, and wasn't working so perfect. But I could see the potential definitely. Yeah. So you want to tell me a little bit more, about your sponsors or your skateboard? It's definitely a new skateboard. What's going on?
Yeah, I have a new sponsor now. Sector 9.
Wow, that's
that's
epic.
Exciting. It's actually quite exciting for both of us, I think, because the brand was sold to, it was either Quicksilver or Billabong, one of those, to like a massive one a couple of years ago.
And this is a Sector 9 board?
And then it went down a lot. Yeah, they didn't really make many boards anymore.
Okay. But I remember Sector 9 was
not many downhill boards, at least. So like the downhill division of the whole thing totally died, and they only made cruisers and like these surf skate boards everything that's trendy,
I think we talked about it.
But they didn't do any of the core stuff anymore. So now the original owners bought it back.
Okay.
And now I hopped on the boat to help them develop like some good boards again.
Amazing. That's really exciting. They are really one of the pioneers in the industry, right?
Yeah, they pushed it a lot, like especially they kind of always appreciate this variety of different skateboards and like different disciplines in skateboarding, and they make gear for all of them. And I think that really just fits really well with how I like to ride, because I love riding in the bowl too. I like to just get a cruiser to go check the waves or go to the supermarket, and it's like so much fun if you have different sorts of boards and for different purpose, but you just have much more.
So what are their plan? I mean, you working with them on designing something, or are you trying their new downhill skateboards and like they want to expand that division?
Yeah, I'm working on designing a pro model with them.
Okay.
So
it's going to be the Anna model?
Yeah, now I'm testing kind of some prototypes. And my goal would be to make a board that it's good for going fast, but you can still have a lot of fun with it if you're just riding on the streets, like cruising around. Because what's very important for me is just to also help make the sport more accessible for people. Because there's a massive hype about surf skating now. Yeah. I don't know if you see, but
of course
everyone wants to surf skate, and everyone thinks that surf skating is the key to surf better. And to me, to be honest, that's bullshit. Because the key to surf better is to get a board feeling, I think, and to like know how do you turn the board, how you have to turn your body to turn the board, how you like keep the balance. There's a lot of different things that you can train like on land,
would say,
but you don't necessarily need those special type of trucks to do it. Like, for example, I think sometimes I skate the regular skateboard in the bowl. It definitely helps to improve the surfing.
Oh, of course.
And then I skate this one. You go fast down the road. It also helps for surfing. It's like, I think it's quite a big marketing gag that people think they really need this specific type of equipment to improve their surfing.
I don't like those trucks.
Yeah, me neither. You can't go really fast on them.
I don't
start to
I don't like that feeling when it's like really loose on the
front.
On the front. This is what I got for my older girl. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm not connecting to that feeling. I like it. I like it when it's a bit more stable.
Yeah.
And you can still do like that. Like you can still turn if you want. And actually, it's harder to turn. And to turn a board on the wave, it's also hard.
Yeah,
it's
that's
hard.
the thing.
It's not like, this. It doesn't imitate the feeling of surfing that much at all, I think. It does help you lose a bit the hips.
Yeah.
You kind of like feel like a bit, like dancing, and that's important. But if you ask me, I've been surfing for 25, I think, I don't know, a lot of years, and the most important thing to help you surf is paddling. This is like the key to surfing is like strong shoulders, paddling, swimming. I mean, like, because you're 90% of the time paddling.
Yeah.
Getting.
I mean, I do think that riding skateboards helps.
Of course.
To just like, it helps for the style and for the board feeling and all that. But I think the main thing that the surf skates did is that they made skating more accessible to people because it's not as extreme. Like if you get a surf skate, it has big, smooth wheels, kind of like this, and it's easy to turn. So for a total beginner that never stood on any board, it's immediately more fun because...
Can I? I'm really curious. So, yeah, keep on going. I'm just really curious.
I think that's a very important factor, that you make it fun for beginners, because if it's a board with super stiff tracks and you need to practice a lot to just make it turn,
this tracks looks like like
the patience.
SpaceX,
it's a little bit of a crazy construction.
Yeah. And what is this? What this does?
It's called a toe stop. It's kind of like that you can lock in your foot.
Okay, so your foot's
yeah, it's more for the slides, and when you go really fast
it has some weight.
Yeah, it's not super light.
It's pretty cool. Look how much it's rolling.
I actually came here all the way on my board from Santo Isidoro.
From Santo Isidoro?
It rolls really well.
I really feel like trying to skate this board.
You should.
I am having my flip-flops here, but I can. But I'm gonna try later. And yeah, it looks amazing. Sorry, you were saying about. So you actually think the approach should be different now? So basically.
I always recommend people, because I teach a lot of people like skate lessons, and I usually recommend them to start with a little more stable trucks, because then you also get a better feeling of how to push. Because the way you generate speed on a surf skate is like with this wiggling around. And a lot of the people that I'm teaching skate lessons, they also taking skate lessons because they want to improve their surfing. Yeah. And they had that problem that they started with surf skates and they like wiggling around too much.
Too much
so
movement.
They kind of take that to their surfing and they move their arms like way too much. You don't need to. Yeah. And I think to get like a more fluid feeling on the board, it's quite important also that you learn how to push and how to just ride it, Yeah. And with a little more stable trucks, it's
The wheels are amazing. That's like
it's more that you really need to do the work to make it turn the right way. And as you said, it's the same on a wave. You can't expect that if you shift your weight like super slightly, it's gonna do a massive turn.
No, it's not.
So
unless if you surf with no fins or something, and even if you surf with no fins, it's nothing like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. And actually, also the cool styles of surfing is sometimes a bit not lazy, but like a bit when the arms are a bit like a bit like Joel Parkinson style,
Yeah.
you know, a bit like kind of like, you know, I'm
I mean,
kinda,
no one wants to look like this.
I'm
you
like
know,
I'm
when they're
loose
surfing.
with my shoulders and I'm just like you know, throwing a big snap, you know. Like Joel Parkinson, if you know that surfer, he's really good at that style. Like, you know, look a bit casual, you know,
Yeah.
not too much, you know. Unless if you're really like, okay, you're in a huge barrel and you're really like somehow, I'm not never in a huge barrel, but if you are,
Me neither.
yeah, and
Not
you're
yet.
like somehow like really like speeding through and want to make it throughout, something like that. I mean, then it makes sense. But if you're like riding 1 foot wave and you're like wiggling your whole body,
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah, that's not.
Yeah, and actually Sector 9, they also sponsor some really good surfers.
Okay.
So they always came more from that approach, you know, they're from California, so it's
Yeah, they used to
where
have-
skateboarding was initially just born to not get so bored on the days without waves, you know.
Yeah,
so
I
they really
remember.
tried to replicate that feeling somehow with their boards.
And why that this is doesn't not feeling the whole space over here? Is that like a different sort of? It's like
Or that it drops down a
Yeah.
little bit. It's just to mount the truck and kind of keep it at the same level.
Okay.
Because you see there's like a lot of concave in the board. So to mount it on a straight level, it's good to
okay.
have these cutouts.
That's crazy.
But yeah, this is not like the
This is a Sector 9, yeah?
the initial, like the final prototype. I have it with me, but I didn't bring it today. It's still a little bit secret.
Okay, so keep it a secret. But next time when
the
you come,
prototype itself, not
next time
time it's gonna be ready for sure.
fantastic. I really want to try it, and yeah, but they used to have like some paintings of waves and stuff. You remember?
Yeah, for
The
sure.
old-
No, they all
this
have
is-
it. Like it's just
And this is
the
especially for you.
prototypes. You don't need to do graphics, you know, because it's just to test. So
So for you, they keep it like that, black, or it's just like you just don't ask, like you just doesn't matter, right? I mean, I'm just interested in like the
it's like you
the
know, it
relationship,
costs
like-
money to print graphics, and if it's the purpose is that I'm testing the board, then there's no point to have a graphic.
So it's like when you see those pros surfers, they have like white boards with not much graphics, just because they're dinging and breaking all of them, and they're like
sometimes it's just that they're testing equipment and
doesn't make sense.
you get the equipment as soon as it's ready to ride, but they don't need to do all that extra
Yeah.
stuff that they do
Okay.
to sell it.
That's actually really cool. That's exciting because you're really in that like in the designing phase.
yeah,
you know? Like
it's really exciting
like technical.
to be able to
And
like
also these
design
holes, it
a
feels
board
like-
yourself.
Wow, it looks like it's like got like a fiberglass coating here or something.
Yeah, they usually put fiberglass into
Yeah?
the downhill boards
Really?
because it makes it more stable, but it's still possible to keep it kind of light because they tend to get a little bit heavy because they have a lot of layers of wood.
Mm-hmm.
And if you replace some of the layers with fiberglass, then it's a little bit lighter, but it keeps the stability.
Did I told
So
you?
it's like quite high tech actually. Now
No,
that
it
I'm
looks-
involved in designing one, I only notice how many factors play together. Also, like how you can shape the concave, and I don't know. I wanted to have a kicktail too on the actual. This one it doesn't have one,
Yeah,
but
it's
as I
nice to
said,
have a
that's
kicktail.
not the
It's nice. It's nice to have some, you know. I don't know why, but it feels right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I
It's
tell you
fun.
about my first longboard skate? I think I did. I was the first one
Not
in
sure if I
Israel.
remember. The first one.
First one in Israel in 1999. The first long, well, maybe there was another one, but I mean,
You never saw anyone.
I never saw anyone. I mean, I didn't got like a verification like the first, but I was, okay, one of the first one, definitely. It was by Powell. You know that brand?
Yeah, they are my real sponsor.
Yeah?
Powell Peralta.
So yeah, they had this... They had this long board, and the tracks and the wheels were like similar from regular skateboard, just a little bit bigger. The wheels were a little bit bigger, and the tracks were almost the same. And it was huge longboard, and it had this painting of this Hawaiian girl doing like a shaka, and such a like beautiful times, you know.
Yeah, I'm really excited about like being able to design the graphics too of the board.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be involved in that as well?
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Because especially like I got really into graphic design lately somehow. I always loved drawing, and my partner, he taught me a lot about using the programs just like at home, because he works with that, and yeah, now I'm like fully addicted. And I was designing some logos for friends, and I think, I don't know, the best thing you can design for me is a board, because it's my absolute favorite item.
Definitely. And you're also an artist. You told me you were studying art. So like for you, being part of like, you know, like actually the actual, because the graphic has a lot of meaning.
Yeah.
When you buy a board, it's...
And what was my plan for the graphic? Actually, it is kind of a longer story behind it, because my dad is an artist as well, and he does a lot of like lino cut prints.
Okay.
You know, it's like wood print, but it's a different material that they cut out. But anyways, I think prints always work pretty well, like for graphics. And he did a print once of me riding. And for me, it's really special because he is mentally sick, like he has schizophrenia.
Okay.
And I grew up with that, and like for me, it was always really important to share my passion with people who are struggling mentally. And I'm also like partnering with some mental health organizations.
Wow.
That like I teach skate lessons, or I just like help them promote what they are doing. For example, there's one NGO in Sydney that they go surfing with people with mental problems. And what was my plan for the pro model is to like use his print as the design, and to give a certain percentage of the revenue to these NGOs.
Amazing.
Because yeah, for me, like riding boards was the thing that kept me sane. You know,
yeah, no.
It's like really amazing how it can help you with any kind of mental struggles. And I met a lot of people on the way also who were dealing with depression or anxiety or any of those things, and starting skating or surfing really switched their life.
For sure. 100%.
So that's why I think...
Especially skateboard, I think.
It's good to make a sign for it.
No, definitely. Do you want to share what is exactly schizophrenia? I mean, it's okay if you don't, but like, what is it? Like, I'm not sure which exactly. It's very moving, first of all, just your story and everything.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, you don't have to, but if you want, like, just explain, like, what exactly, just...
Well, it's like...
Even if you're just scratching the surface.
Have, like, multiple personalities sometimes, or they just get moments that they go absolutely nuts, like totally lose any sense of reality, and sometimes can be really dangerous too, because then they don't feel like what they're able to do or what not, and you could be like, oh, I can fly and jump out of the window or something. So it's like something happens in the brain that they just fully lose track of the world. And I think it's probably one of the most difficult mental illnesses to handle. They have a lot of good medication for it, but I think always with this kind of medication for your brain, it has a lot of side effects usually,
absolutely.
that it kind of numbs you. And
Absolutely.
yeah. And I think for me, it's like really important to spread awareness for these things that they are around, because the more you know people who are dealing with it, the more you realize it's actually very common. Like not just schizophrenia, but like a lot of mental issues. I think it's becoming more and more actually, because we also live in this super fast-paced world that a lot of people get, like, I don't know, performance anxiety
getting out of balance.
And then you get out of balance, you get into drugs, you like do the opposite of what's good for you.
Yeah.
If it's like in food, in habits, in everything, and all of that, it plays like a massive role in how you feel mentally. And I think sometimes when people are in a moment that it's on the limit and they're like really going down, it can be the savior to develop a passion for a sport. And I think skating and surfing, they have this really beautiful factor that you don't think about any problems or any negative thoughts. You like
you
really
can have if you
in
surf.
the moment, you know.
If you surf and you have like a really bad day in the water, no.
It's not always beautiful and easy.
Yeah.
But I think
I get what you say.
It teaches you a lot of lessons,
humbleness,
you know.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you're struggling with mental problems, then that's all you need. You need to like be in the nature. You need to feel your body, and I always say it's like a meditation to me to skate really fast, or also to like surf on a wave in the moment. It's like you're meditating, because the moment kind of freezes, you know. You don't have any sense of time, and you don't think about anything except this moment.
Yes.
And when you're meditating, you're trying to achieve that. You're trying to just be in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's a really important thing to practice regularly to feel mentally good.
Especially in skating, because in surfing, it takes time, you know, to really get into that state.
Yeah,
I mean, you paddle, you figure where you want to. Yeah, you figure where you want to be. Takes a long time. And then when you get the wave, you know, especially if it's a long wave, you really feel. But skating, you're in it really quickly. You know, you really start to feel that meditative, like that focus. You know, I mean, after couple of weeks, 2 weeks, you can learn, and depends, but like, you know what I'm saying, you can enjoy it really quickly, and you can even go for a small downhill. You doesn't have to be something, and just like have like fun in that. Like it's a great.
For me, when I started, it really brightened up my day every time. Because I was still going to school that time, and I just made my day so much better by going to school on a board, for example, you know.
Definitely. Absolutely.
It's a very good tool.
I really want to go back skating after I'm talking to you, you know.
That's what I'm trying to achieve.
But
no, I'm actually like also organizing a skate retreat here in Ericeira, like from the 12th to the 18th of May.
Oh wow, so you're going to be here for a while. You're going to stay. That's cool.
Until then.
Okay. So where is that retreat?
I'm planning to do it like especially for women this time, because I noticed that somehow...
So I'm not invited.
I mean, if you really want to come, you can come.
It's okay.
But I noticed that somehow I end up teaching almost only women, because a lot of times they're struggling with the confidence, and they're like, at least like those people that I was teaching so far, like it happens often that you don't really trust yourself that you can do it, or it's intimidating to go to a skate park because you feel like everyone's watching and you like really shit. And that's why I thought it could be a nice thing to create like this environment for a week that just a lot of women come together and practice together, no matter like if they're just starting or a little bit more advanced already. But there's like a really special energy around doing things in a group of women.
100%.
Because we can like read each other's fears better, I think. And I think as a woman, it's natural that you have a little bit more fear than as a man, just because of hormones or like, you know, I think we have these instincts more that we have to protect our bodies because we can get babies and like you have to protect your body, you know?
Yeah. But
and I think, of course, you can train a lot and you can like totally reach the same level as a man in being fearful or not. But I just think that naturally a lot of times women have a little bit more of like they're a little bit more hesitant to practice like extreme sports or to try something.
I tell you what I think. I sorry for interrupting. I want to say something, otherwise I forgot. I think I think women alone in an environment only of women, and even men alone only in an environment of men, it's different.
It's a different
because,
energy.
Because if you have suddenly women and men, there is like, hey, you know, what will he thinks about me?
Maybe you feel more embarrassed.
There's
like
judgment, exactly. And the same happens with men because it's suddenly like they all want to be like, okay, you know.
It's true.
We had today
like for example, I went to an all-girls school, which nowadays it's quite old-fashioned.
Yeah, but it's
I
clever.
enjoyed it because it's kind of more calm.
Yeah.
You're really more focused on the thing that you're learning because there's not all this distraction of like,
definitely.
oh, I like someone or I don't know.
Today at the gym, we usually just train like 3 guys, like 3 friends, and one guy. He's like the trainer. And there was this really cute girl today who was like, she was training another guy. Like, I don't know. She's never there, but she was like she's working there. And we were all like extra, extra, like pushing everything like extra.
So
and
funny.
Yeah, and I hurt my, and she was, I bet she wasn't even paying attention. But we were just like, and we were like, and I think because of that, I injured I was like, keep it coming, like bring me the biggest ones, but it's
so funny.
It's funny, but if you want to get that pure, like thing, it's really good that what you're doing, like a group of women skating together or doing some sort. I think it's really powerful. I think it's a great idea.
And I want to like combine a few other things in this week, that it's not only skating,
of course,
all the time, every day. Like you don't want to skate the whole day, anyways. And since I'm like a really big fan of meditation, and I do a lot of yin yoga too. I actually did like this course to be like a yin yoga teacher.
Cool.
That I never planned to teach, but
who knows?
I just did it for myself. And now I felt like it's quite a nice thing to incorporate into this week.
Absolutely.
Because especially when you meet those moments that you too scared to do something that actually looks easy, or like, I don't know, for me, I get so annoyed when I have a moment like that I want to do something, but then I'm too scared. That then to practice all these other methods on the side, I think it's a really good addition to learning how to skate. Because when you meditate regularly, it's something that you need to do regularly. For me, like I'm doing every day, and I think the longer you get into those more focused states just by doing nothing, the more you can also do it when you do whatever
like
other
diet.
activity,
It's like a diet. You wouldn't be I mean, you wouldn't gain anything if you eat healthy one day.
Yeah,
you know, you need to eat healthy for a long time.
It needs to become a habit.
Yeah, it needs to be part of your life.
And
you know?
I think even if it's just a week, but if you like experience that for a week, how is it to just wake up in the morning and straight away you just sit down and breathe for 15 minutes and then maybe you do like some movement and yeah, I just want to share like all these methods that I also use to calm myself with all those women, because I think it's a really precious thing, and I think it's something that everyone should share who discovered it, because the world would be a better place if we're all meditating and doing yoga.
100%. 100%. Anna, you're amazing. Thank you for showing up. And
thank you for inviting me.
It was a really cool talk, as always. And next time you're in Ericeira, you're going to give another visit here and you tell me everything, you know, how everything went. Will be hopefully in the next half a year. Who knows? I probably would come again.
And now you go skate on my board.
Yeah, we'll test it now. I'm gonna test, but I'm with my flip flops. So let's see. You know, it's always a bit tricky.
Barefoot ride.
Barefoot maybe a bit better, but I'm gonna get injured for sure.